Hello guys, so I recently reached Masters after being in Diamond for 2 weeks. My rank is currently 1013 in Masters, as you can see it. Today we will talk about some mistakes that every player should avoid in order to reach Masters. I'll also give you some tips on how to climb faster no matter what your rank is, and I hope you enjoy the video. The first thing that I want to talk about in this video is creating bad decks. One of the most, if not the most common mistake players do make is creating decks that do not make any sense, or decks that do not have good combos, like putting Jinx and Vlad together, or Javen and Maokai together. I know that creating decks is fun, it's fun to play with them, but if you want to climb faster in rank, do not create decks if you don't know how to create a good one, because building a deck is very hard. Even high elo players get their decks from websites and do one or two minor changes, and that's exactly what you want to do. Just go to Google, search for Legends of Runeterra decks, or go check meta decks, try as many decks as possible to see which one fits you more. Once you choose a deck, stick with it, don't change it, and that's really an important point. It's actually the most important one, because I myself, after reaching Diamond 4, I tried a bunch of decks, and I've always liked the idea of plunder cards or plunder effect, so I decided to try a plunder deck myself. I tried the Misfortune Sejuani plunder deck, which is a deck that I found on a website, and that brings us back to the point I mentioned earlier. It's not that I don't know how to create a deck, I actually created the deck that got me to Diamond, but sometimes it's better to try people's decks and see which one fits you more, or which one suits you more. Anyway, I had a negative win rate with the Plunder deck in the first 10 or 15 games, but after that, after I understood the mechanics of the deck, I climbed from Diamond 3 20 LP to Masters in just one day. Yep, I did it in one day. Okay, let's talk about starting hand for a bit. Players don't usually look at opponent's deck before they pick their starting hand, which is a huge mistake. If you watch streamers, you probably know that pro players look at opponent's deck before they pick what to keep and what to replace. High elo players in general do that because you always want to have the cards that do well versus enemy's deck. Mana doesn't matter that much sometimes. Like for example, you want to keep your 5 or 6 mana champion or unit in hand if you get it at the start and you know it will benefit you, especially in slow games like versus control or combo decks. Keep in mind, decks do not have best cards because in every game you have to pick different cards depending on the matchup. Every game is different, and right now I'll show you an example of a good starting hand. In this game we're playing a Demacia Ionia deck versus Shadow Isles Frail tech. Our goal here is to play and finish the game early or mid game because we have the advantage while he has the advantage late game. We got cards like Fiora, Bright Steel Protector, Deny, and Swifting Lancer. We keep Fiora because she's our win condition. We try to protect her and play around her. So we keep cards like Bright Steel Protector and Deny. Deny is not gonna be that useful early game, but it's gonna be useful late game because of cards to protect, to save her from cards like Vengeance or Ruination. We replace the Swifting Lancer because he doesn't have the value, or he is not able to protect Fiora, so he's not really that useful. And that's basically how you plan your whole game based on your starting hand. The third point for today is playing randomly. Many players play a unit or a spell without considering what the enemy could have in his hand. High-elo players always think about the possibility of the enemy having a certain card, so you need to keep that in mind, and if you get the timing of using a certain card right, you will win much more games and climb much faster. An example to that is you should not use spells like Coronation or Vengeance versus Ionia decks unless they run out of denies or they have less than 4 mana. Only use it when if you have no other choice and hope that they don't deny it. Same thing goes for when you have many units on board and they have the mana for Coronation, and you're playing an Ionia deck, you don't have deny in your hand, you should not play any unit and try to open attack. So this way you will force the enemy to use Ruination after your attack, and that is when you use your units you saved in your hand and finish the game with them. Our fourth and last point for today's video is passing turns. Passing turns is so important. It's something that not many players do when it's their turn to attack. They always rush to play a unit or open attack, which is sometimes a mistake. You should always consider passing turns when you have less mana than the opponent, especially if you can't do much damage to the enemy nexus with open attacking. This way you will force him to play something, or else if he ends the round he loses mana. You can also pass if you have many options and you don't know what to play, so you pass to see what he does first and then you make your counter play and win your trade. Passing turns is also used to bait the enemy sometimes. I personally do that a lot, but if you want to pass, you should pass fast, because if you take too long to do that, he will know that you have something to play and he will know that you're baiting him to play something. By passing turns before round 4 or 5, you're telling the enemy that you have nothing to play, so he plays something and you counter him by playing the unit that counters his unit or champion and attack and win your trade. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Follow the tips and avoid the mistakes I mentioned in the video, and you will I guarantee that you'll climb much faster and hopefully reach masters. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Stay safe and see you in the next video.